Hello guys, this is Ironman League from Hungary. We are starting P4 on the grid. It's lights out and away we go. I get quite a good launch, but not as good as Larry Tolkey, who is starting on the medium tires. Of course, that is going to give him an advantage going into turn 1, and you can see he goes around the outside. Jan Halliday closes the door a bit. I have to take avoiding actions, and Gábor Csontos goes around the outside of me going into turn 1. Now into turn 2 I'm going to try and stay ahead of Gábor Csontos. I try a Daniel Ricciardo move and I push him off the track into turn 3, and I think this was a completely fair move. Now we arrive into turn 4, one of my favorite corner of the calendar, and you can see in turn 5 Diego Zorzo touches the grass on the entry, and that is going to give us a free position on the opening lap of this very long race. There is rain forecasted for this race, as always in Ironman League, so we have to be very careful not to mess up the strategy, and we are going to skip already to lap 2, where you can see Larry Tolkey has made a little bit of a mistake. He gets a bit out of shape on the exit, so I'm going to try to attack him. I have a little look on the inside, but it's it wasn't really possible to overtake, and it wouldn't have made any sense basically anyways, as he was on much faster tires. And now I'm just going to skip and show you that basically nothing happened in most of these laps. We are on lap 8 currently. You can see I'm holding the gap compared to Larry Tolkey and Gábor Csontos, and basically this is how the race went. During this stage we couldn't really do anything, couldn't overtake, nobody could overtake basically. The dirt here is way too high and everybody's engine was overheating, so we were just staying behind each other in a DRS train. But now we are going to skip to lap 14, and finally something is going to happen actually. So as you can see, Larry Tolkey, who has started on medium tires, is now going to come into the pit lane, and this is going to mean that I have basically lost the DRS to Jan Halliday, and now I have to somehow get back into the DRS here. I'm going to show you this lap. I wasn't really worried, I think, at this stage, because when I practiced for Hungary, I always felt really comfortable. It's my home GP as well, so yeah, I knew that I had the pace, and you can see already into turn 4 I am within the DRS, so yeah. Thankfully we are not going to fall out of DRS from Jan Halliday, and this is going to be really crucial for our race, because when somebody is ahead of you and you have DRS on him, there is absolutely no way anyone can overtake you from behind, even if they have a significant pace advantage. But if you look behind me, Gábor Csontos has actually fallen out of DRS, and this is going to give Brandolny, two-time F1 Esports world champion, a very good opportunity of overtaking him, and that is not so good for our race, I would say, because that just gives a free position to Brandolny, and I am not really happy about it, but I mean, it is what it is. Now we skip to lap 17. As you can see, Brandolny has overtaken Gábor Csontos, and now I am going to try to attack Jan Halliday going into turn 1. I'm going to dive around the outside of him, but as you can see, there's just not really enough grip at the outside, and I couldn't really get back on the throttle in time. And yeah, into turn 2 I tried to have a look still, but Jan Halliday defended completely fairly and very well. And now we're gonna skip to lap 21, where again I am going to try to attack him, and you can see even from 3 or 4 turns behind, with the car ahead not having DRS, it's quite hard to overtake. So we will need Jan Halliday to make a mistake in order to overtake him. There's not really any other way where I can pass him. But now we're gonna skip to lap 23. and we're gonna try it again. This race was a bit boring. Like you can see, I started from 3 times behind, and Jan is defending the inside line. I go around the outside, but again there is no grip around the outside, and he pushes me onto the curb a bit, and which is completely fair, and there's just no grip on the curb, so you can't really accelerate. And now I'm back in the dirt here, so you cannot really do much more than this. But now we are going to skip to lap 29, and this is probably the closest I have been to Jan Halliday during the whole race. So I was really trying to make a move finally, and as I felt I was much faster than Jan Halliday through this first thing. And you can see I'm 3 tenths behind, 3.5 tenths behind, and now I'm going to fake a move around the outside and then dive on the inside, and this is an amazing move. This I was really proud of myself, to be honest, after making this move. Some people may say it's dirty, but I mean, this is how you can overtake in F1 25, like there's no other way, you just need to dive on. But I was ahead at the apex, so I had the right to push him off the track. And now I am going to be able to drive my own place in clean air, which is, I think, really important in this game. And I hope that Jan Halliday maybe loses DRS to me and holds up Brandolny, because I always felt during this race that Brandolny had quite good pace, so I would have been really happy if he lost DRS compared to me. Now we are going to skip to lap 32, and if you look at the minimap at the bottom left, you can see that Otis Lawrence and Jack West had a massive collision, and this has caused a virtual safety car, but of course we are unable to pit for anything because the rain, as I said earlier in the video, is coming, so we have to stay out. We're gonna skip to the end of the virtual safety car. I get the restart in quite a bad position actually, because it's right on the middle of the chicane, which is not the most optimal place to restart during a virtual safety car, but I mean, it is what it is, it doesn't really matter. They won't be able to overtake me anyways. And now we skip to lap 37, where, as you can see, the rain has finally started to fall, and maybe it can make things a bit more interesting than how they were. At this lap I felt like the track was not ready for intermediates yet, so I decided to stay out, but as you can see behind me, Jan Halliday pits, Brandolny pits, Bence Szabó-Kőnyi pits, István Puki stays out, but you have to note down that István Puki is on much fresher tires, because if I remember correctly, he either pitted behind or during the virtual safety car, or he definitely pitted already once for another set of hard tires. And so now I'm going to show you the lap. At this stage I already knew that staying out was completely stupid. It was definitely the wrong decision, and it was my decision. My engineer didn't tell me to stay out. He just asked me what was the best option for me, how I felt like, and I decided to stay out. But at this stage I just knew that the chance of getting back to P1 was gone, and it's really sad, because it's already hard to overtake in dry conditions with DRS and slipstream and overtake, but in wet conditions, when you don't even have the DRS, it's even harder. And as you can see, István Puki on the faster, fresher tires was able to catch up nearly 1.5 seconds during this lap. So imagine how much time I lost compared to the Inter runners. So we finally come into the pit lane, Of course we are going to put on intermediate tires, what a surprise. And we just have to pray that we rejoin at P1, but you can see on the minimap actually Brandon Lee, who has pitted from behind Jan Halliday, has managed to overtake Jan Halliday and has managed to overtake me as well. He undercut me. I was expecting Jan Halliday to undercut me, but I was certainly not expecting Brandon Lee to undercut me. Or if even Brandon Lee undercutted me, I was expecting Jan Halliday to undercut me as well. But somehow I'm not really sure what happened to Jan Halliday. He lost 3 positions, so interesting. Now we skip to lap 42, and you can see I have closed up to Brandon Lee a bit, and you can see we are much faster than István Puki, both Brandon and me. We have gained like 2 seconds compared to him. So our pace is definitely good, and I felt like during this stint I was faster than Brandon Lee actually. So I was a bit sad that I ended up behind him after the pit stops, because I think if I ended up ahead of him and I pitted the same lap as him, I think he wouldn't have been able to overtake me during this stint. So it would have been quite interesting to see how the race plays out after that. But of course I made this strategic decision and it was the wrong one, so now we have to work with this. You can see I think that I'm faster than Brandon, but I'm certainly the same pace as him, and I was trying to attack him. It is really hard to follow others, or at least for me it felt like it was really hard to follow Brandon in rain. It was even worse than in the dry, because you don't have the DRS. So we did the whole stint like this basically, and we have skipped to lap 43. You can see I'm still 7 times behind Brandon Lee. And yeah, basically this is how the whole stint went. Now we are going to skip to lap 45, still 6 times behind him. I was basically just trying to capitalize on a mistake if he made one. But now we are going to skip to the end of lap 45, and you can see that the rain has decreased massively, and at this point I knew that we are not far from switching back to dries, because believe it or not, there is going to be another dry stint during this race. And now we skip to lap 47, and you can see the rain is barely falling anymore. So we are really close to switching back to dry tires. And as we come out of the final corner, you can see that the rain has actually stopped. So in 1 or 2 laps we are probably going to need to pit for dry tires. And at this stage I was hoping that I could stay within 1 second compared to Brandon, because I really wanted to have his DRS for the dry stint. But as we skip to lap 49, you can see that I unfortunately have fallen out of the DRS. During these transition phases I think I'm not the best. These are the phases that I really need to practice, because this is where I'm losing the most time compared to the esports drivers. And during this lap my only goal was to stay within the DRS of Brandon somehow, or I mean to get back within the DRS of Brandon. So I'm going to show you the whole lap before we pitted. You can see Brandon makes a small mistake through the chicane, which lost him half a tenth, but I am still unable to catch back up to him, unfortunately. And you can see the DRS has been enabled, and that is a clear sign of pitting. When the DRS is enabled, you always need to pit for dry tires. And now I'm going to try the cut the pit entry line as much as possible to maybe catch up to Brandon, but it was not enough, unfortunately. We are going to pit for hard tires. You will see that some people, for example István Puki and Ismail Fassi, have opted for the medium tires, which is going to mean that they are basically going to be much slower at the end of the race. So I should have quite a good shot at taking second place, even if both István and Ismail overtake me. As you can see on the top left, they both have penalties. István Puki has a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and Ismail Fassi has a 3-second penalty for exceeding track limits. You could see into turn 1 I made quite a big mistake. I went way too deep. Broke like the track was completely dry. And we have lost even more time compared to Brandon Lee, so at this point I knew that catching Brandon Lee was probably impossible. And for good measure, he will have DRS from Nicolas Longuet as well for this next straight. And my plan here was to let István Puki pass me and then try to stay within 1 second compared to him to catch back up to Brandon Lee, as István is on much faster tires at this stage. But if I could stay within his DRS, I could be able to follow him and catch back up to Brandon Lee with him. But as we oh my god, as we skip to lap 51, you can see I'm barely able to keep up with István Puki, and I knew that it's not going to be possible. I go too deep into turn 1 again, and for now I'm within DRS, but as he has much fresher tires, not fresher, faster, there is no chance of me staying in his DRS. You can see I have just fallen out and I go deep through the second to last corner, and this has ruined my chance of getting the DRS from István. And now Ismail Fassi is going to try and attack me. So my plan was the same as with István: let Ismail pass me and then try to catch back up to István and Brandon. But I wasn't expecting such a big dive from Ismail through turn 2, but I mean, fair play to him. He stopped really well, like he didn't even miss the apex, so well done. And now I'm just going to try and follow Ismail Fassi and hope that we can catch back up to Brandon Lee and somehow overtake him. But I think at this point it's quite clear for everyone that that is not going to happen, as I have a clear pace disadvantage compared to him. And now we skip to lap 54. I managed to keep up with Ismail Fassi for now, but it's really tough, honestly. For me, the stints where we are driving on a track that is drying up is really hard. And you can see at the end of this lap we have already fallen out of DRS, and at this stage I knew that the chance of winning this race was absolutely gone. So I just tried to lose the minimal amount of time compared to Ismail Fassi and István Puki, and try to finish P2. But as you can see, it's already getting quite tight with Ismail Fassi. He's already 2.2 seconds ahead of me. But as we skip to lap 61, I managed to catch back up a bit, as now István's and Faszi's tires are starting to drop off, and this should help me stay within 3 seconds. Meanwhile, I decided to drift at the exit of turn 1 for some reason. Now we skip to lap 66 of the race, and you can see I'm once again really close of falling out of the 3 second window of Ismail Fassi. So I really have to be careful to not make any mistakes, because if I make a single mistake, this is going to cost me a P2 finish. I'm not worried about István Puki, because I'm definitely staying within 10 seconds compared to him. But it is going to be a really tight finish with Ismail Fassi. And I'm going to skip to lap 68 of the race. There are only 3 more laps to go. You can see the gap is 2.8 seconds. That's only 2 tenths away for Ismail Fassi to be safe. So I really have to be careful here. And for the last 2 laps I have decided to show you both laps completely uncut. So let's see if I can stay P2 in this race. My home race in Ironman League, the gap is 2.5 seconds as we arrive into turn 1. I get quite a good exit from turn 1, and the gap is now only still 2.5 seconds, I should say. Then turn 2 was quite good as well. I'm pressing the overtake as well, but you can see I don't really have any percentage left, and I need to save some for the final lap as well. You can see again at this tight section where you really need the grip, I have managed to catch up to Ismail Fassi once again a bit, as now I'm only 2.2 seconds away from him. As we finish sector 2, now we only have 4 sectors left in this race. The gap is 2.2 seconds now, as I make a big mistake going into the second to last corner, and this has lost me at least 3 tenths of a second. And now we start the final lap of the race. As you can see, I don't have any ERS left. The gap is 2.8 seconds going into turn 1, and this is going to be a really tough challenge to stay within the 3 second window of Ismail Fassi. But as you can see, on the exit of turn 2 I have a massive slide, and this is going to cost me a lot of time. The gap is now up to 2.9 seconds. Ismail Fassi needs half a tenth to be safe from me, and actually you can see it nearly went over 3 seconds for a second. But through the chicane I managed to gain back 3 tenths of a second. Of course, Ismail Fassi is getting dirtier from István Puki as well, so he has quite a hard job as well to do. And now I have managed to bring the gap back down to 2.5 seconds, and I only have 3 corners left to go. Now only 2 corners, and now we have only the final corner to go, and the gap is 2.5 seconds. And if I don't make a mistake, this is going to be the best finish of the season for me, and my first podium in Ironman League. I really enjoyed this race. It's a bit unfortunate that I made the strategic mistake at the second stint, but it was still an amazing race and I really enjoyed it. Congratulations to Brandon Lee for winning the race, and if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you.